Allison.
And Gavin.
And this is Torah Between Us.
Parshat Vayishlach.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't look down at the Chumash this time.
No, you did not. We are all proud of you, Rabbi.
Thank you. How was your week?
Week was good. It was a very busy week. It was an exciting week because we got to speak to your brother for the first time in 3 weeks.
That is true. We did get to speak to my brother, who's been in Gaza for the past 3 weeks and a bit. And he got 48 hours to get a marriage license, see his fiance, call a few people.
Give a shear out of his brother's yeshiva.
Eat a little bit, take a shower, get a haircut.
And back to base.
Back to base, not the base medrash.
No, different base.
the army base. Yeah, so we're thinking about him, and he's off. It's similar to all the parshas have been like so resonant to what's been happening.
Very much so. I mean, again, it comes back to the idea of the Hasidic Rebbe saying to his children to live in the times, live with the times, and that the times being the Parsha, the weekly Torah portion, giving insights into our lives.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I'm just as you're saying this, like, there's this ceasefire right now, and it's like a pause to some extent, even though it almost feels like there's more action, or like we got like the encounters and the witch hostages and this person and that person. I don't know. Like, I had in my backpack Eitan Yahalomi, who is 12 years old, and one of the kids who was taken hostage. And then I was like waiting each day for Eitan to be one of the people. And then thankfully the other day Eitan was released and returned. But there's, I don't know if you saw these rumors of potential, like, all Israeli hostages in Gaza for all the prisoners in Israel.
I did not see those. When did that come up? Today?
I don't know, today, yesterday, is like a potential thing that Hamas or Qatar was like going to propose.
All for all?
All for all.
I don't know, man.
And an end to the war. And a permanent...
Well, they want the end to the war.
Yeah. So that being like a potential offer.
People can offer whatever they want. That's
true.
People are delusional also. So
yeah, it's interesting to see.
Anybody can offer anything.
Yeah, but there's at least this sense within the Parsha that when Yaakov is going to encounter Esav, he makes an offer of, like, here are some gifts and here are some things. And then when he approaches Esav, and actually, like, they embraced, it says, Vayarat Esav, that Esav ran likrato to greet him, Vayichabkehu, and he hugged him, Vayipol al tzivarav, and he fell on his neck, Vayishakehu, Vayifku. So, and then he kissed him, and they cried. So Esav kissed Yaakov, and they cried. Have you heard any ideas about what the kiss is, what the cry is?
Enlighten me.
So I'm happy to enlighten you. So there's this really wild midrash that says, that Rashi famously quotes, that when Esav was kissing Yaakov's neck, that he really tried to bite him. Some like vampire action going on.
And I guess that's where they get like Team Jacob. It's clearly a reference right here.
Well, one of the ideas of biting the neck is that the neck is like
Esav Edward. It's totally there. Team Jacob, werewolf.
J-E.
Esav Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. That's Twilight.
Yes.
Wow, there's a reference to Twilight.
I'm telling you, it's biblical
there
allusions everywhere.
there are definitely biblical allusions everywhere. That it says that Jacob wrestled the angel all night ad alot hashachar until twilight, until
baby.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
You would have thought. You made the connection. But that the idea of biting the neck is that's like the place of a vulnerability, but also of like life, and like your blood flows through there. Whatever. So you could see it as Esav was genuinely happy and to greet him and hug him and fall on his neck and kiss him, or that he was kissing him, but that he was really going in for the bite. And then Yaakov, his neck turned into marble, and then they cried. And why did they cry?
Because it really hurts when you bite into marble.
Exactly. So Esav is crying that his teeth are breaking when biting into marble. And Yaakov is crying. Why would Yaakov be crying in this scenario?
So 2 reasons. Either, oh my God, my brother just tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Or, holy moly, my neck is marble.
Yeah. So there's
These are all guesses on my end.
no, you're right. That he saw this opening, this opportunity for a real embrace, a true mending, and then his brother's like betraying him, going for the jugular, trying to bite his neck. But that's one midrashic read that takes the text in a specific place, and in Hebrew, to bite is vayishok. So the nashek is also, so there is like a relationship with the word there. But then there's also a way of reading it like simply that, yeah, Esav was really just coming and super excited, and he gave him a kiss.
Yeah, the rabbis really don't give Esav a lot of credit.
They do not.
Really harsh to him.
They are really harsh to him. But maybe he really was embracing Yaakov in a genuine way. But some rabbis take even that in a negative way. That this like killing with kindness in a cynical way of like playing on Yaakov's empathy.
Right, I mean, from the start, Rivka says to Yaakov, like, don't be fooled by your brother.
Right. And that if you know that Yaakov has this like soft spot for, and like wants to make amends maybe, and then you act in a way that like, oh, give him a kiss, give him like greetings, be like, let's be all broy, but it's not coming from a genuine place, it's coming from a manipulative place, then I don't know, it's almost like worse. It's like you'd rather be bitten than have someone like try to pretend to kiss you, and like, I don't know. So I guess just going back to Israel, like there's like these conflicting things coming out of like, oh, being nice or being this and that, and it's just like the psychological confusion of this verse where Yaakov and Esav meet. Like, what are the intentions behind these things, and trying to read into it.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the question that we all asked when they released the first initial hostages for humanitarian reasons. It's like, what? What's happening here?
Right. It's like, what is happening here? This is Esav. So I don't know. There's a lot to read into that. The other thing that, or there's many things in this parsha, but right before this, Yaakov ends up staying up all night wrestling with this angel.
Hashtag Team Jacob.
And when he does it, it says that Yaakov was alone. Vayivater Yaakov levado, chapter 32, verse 25. V'ya'avek ishimo ad alot hashachar. And he struggled with this man, this angelic being, this messenger, unclear, until
Twilight.
the morning rays. So it talks about Yaakov being levad, alone. Have you been feeling alone these days at all, Al?
It's a weird question.
Have you been finding community?
I mean, I think I'm going to find a lot of community during Hanukkah.
Okay.
So in that sense, I wish I could have some alone time. No, thank God. It's been very busy. I don't feel alone. No.
That's good. 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
It was 2
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2021. Pretty sure.
I was pregnant with that then.
Yeah. And we had a lot going on over Hanukkah.
Like literally every single night, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to survive as an introvert? Yes, fun fact, I'm an introvert. I know you're saying, hey, no, she's not an introvert. I am. It's about how you recharge and get your energy. And I love you all. I love our community. But, and I do get energized spiritually. But boy, do I need to lock myself in a room for a couple of hours.
It's self-care.
Recharge. Yeah.
But when you're, I don't know, I guess alone in that room, what are you doing?
Is it Shabbos? Is it weekdays?
We'll say it's Shabbos.
Shabbos, I'm reading or sleeping or staring out a window.
Any reflections during those starings?
Plenty, always. But the whole point was to talk about the busy times. Go back to the story.
Okay, let's get back to the story. So what happened during that busy Hanukkah time to 2021 when you were pregnant?
When I was pregnant, 4 or 5 months pregnant with Eden, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. It's so much every single night. There's like 12 events. Like there's only 24 hours in a day, but there's 27 hours of events. And
was it Thanksgiving time?
It overlapped with something.
Yeah,
it was Thanksgiving because we ended up missing it because we had Corona.
The COVID.
We got the COVID.
It wasn't.
Like,
it didn't
literally
fall out exactly over Hanukkah though. I don't think so because I think Thanksgiving and Hanukkah they only overlapped like.
Oh, you know what it was? You gave me Corona. So you got sick. You were walking around like a sick dog in the apartment, coughing up a storm, and not isolating by any means, and just you're like, I'm great. And then a couple of days later, I was like, you're not great. And then you got a test, and it was Hanukkah. And then a couple of days later, I wasn't great.
Fun.
And it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So with Yaakov, he's alone. And with Hanukkah, there's like tremendous community. But one of the things that the Maccabees were revolting against was the Greek influence. That was like the Hellenized Jews and their sense of that, like, it's like important for us to be alone. Like we need our distinct culture. We can't like melt into the Greek Hellenized culture. So there's like a value in being alone. But on the other side, I don't know, at least for me, I've definitely felt alone where this week there were like all those women's groups who still after like 50 days didn't condemn the
attacks on October 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. So that's like very like lonely and like isolating to not feel supported by the broader global community.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it comes down to where you seek support.
But,
and where you expect to have support.
Yeah.
I have very low expectations.
As Ben Gurion said, shmum, which is in Hebrew is UN. So shmum, it's like whatever the UN. And it was November 29th, Chavtet in November, which in itself is a strange thing in Israel that they call it Chavtet November, like
the 29th
of November. So it's like using the Hebrew date and the English date, which was the date of the UN partition plan vote, which didn't really establish the state of Israel. It was just like a recommendation. And the day that we celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut is the day that we declared our independence when the British actually left, not really related to it's like UN thing. I'm losing you.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm also just thinking about my mom's funny comment that she said this week that she's like, I really love your podcast. I love it. I listen to it on Fridays when I walk the dog. Hi, Mom. And she said that the thing that's hard about our podcast is that we don't really have a takeaway. And that I was like, yeah, that's the difference between a podcast and a class. So I hope that you're all hanging in there with us.
Well, I mean,
because there isn't structure.
Should we
if you're expecting structure, don't listen to this.
We'll do a pause. Let's restructure. Let's summarize. So
when do you feel lonely? Isn't that what you asked me?
Yeah. But the
let's restructure to that.
So far, the idea is that the things that are brewing, it's like a cholent. You know, you have a lot of ingredients and it tastes good. There's nothing like, I don't know, what's the main ingredient of cholent?
Depends on if you're Sephardi or
Cholent. Cholent's the main ingredient of cholent.
Sorry, that was way too technical for me. Like some people put different things in bags.
I guess you make the cholent more than I make the cholent.
I was like, if it's Ashkenazi, then it's onion soup mix, as always.
No, but the cholent, like what you taste is like the feeling. So it's like it's supposed to like leave you with like more of like a feeling than like an idea.
Yeah, like that's that classic quote. No one will remember what you say or what you do. It's more about how you feel. So that's
how you made them feel.
How you made them feel. How you made them feel.
We're not making anyone feel anything. We're just allowing.
And we're not helping anybody remember what we're saying.
I don't know. I think some people remember. We got questions about the packs of cigarettes, and we had follow-ups when you said last week that
there are 8 cigarettes in a pack.
No, we didn't know that you inhaled 40, the equivalent of 40 packs when you made the wooden.
I stand by that. I got really sick. In my head.
But we learned that's
inspired.
That's 800 cigarettes. That's a lot.
Again, but I don't even know how long it takes to actually go through one.
Right. I don't know.
It could be like popcorn.
Yeah.
Definitely go through a couple of bags of that.
Yeah. Okay. We're working backwards in the Parsha. A lot of Parsha podcasts, you know, they'll start in the beginning, they'll go forward. We're heading back to the beginning.
Especially because maybe a lot of people just get through half the podcast. So
right.
Now if you get through half the podcast of this and half the podcast of another podcast, then
that's a good looking Jew. That's a Adam Sandler reference for the Hanukkah song. You know the Hanukkah song?
I know the Hanukkah song.
But on Hanukkah, it's like someone's half Jew, the other person's half Jew. Put them together, that's a fine looking Jew. I know the words a little better. So chapter 32, verse 11, it says, Katonti mikol chasadim umikol. Is a beautiful song by Yonatan Rosel on this verse, where it could be translated is Katonti, I am less than all of the chasadim, all of the...
Who's saying this? Why are they saying this?
Goodnesses that have been bestowed upon me. And it's Yaakov saying this. I don't know who he's saying it to. He's kind of just saying it to Hashem, saying it, praying to God. That like this is his intro. Like, God, I know I'm not worthy of being saved from Esav, but like do it anyways, even though I don't deserve it, because
right, people can offer whatever they want
to Hashem. I don't know. You're right. It's good to dream. That's one of the ideas of Hanukkah also, that like you look into the candles. The candles are supposed to be like lights, provide vision. Like you shouldn't feel limited. Hanukkah says that like you have this limitation. This is only supposed to, your phone's at 10%. It's only supposed to last for 2 hours, and then it lasts for 2 days. Like miracles can happen.
But phones go in garbage.
Phones go in garbage.
You don't like phones.
That's right. Especially not when the.
We hope they die. It would be a miracle if the battery's on 20%. It's supposed to last 2 hours, and it dies in 5 minutes.
That's the real miracle. You light the Hanukkah candles. They say guaranteed 30 minutes. They're gonna last. They blow out in 2 seconds. By the time you get to the third candle, the fifth candle's already.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Buy the extra long ones, folks.
Yeah.
Or oil.
It's worth it. But another way of reading the verse is not that I don't deserve all of the goodness that's become about me, but literally, katonti, I have become lessened from all the goodness bestowed upon me. Meaning that, like, because life's been easy, even though Yaakov did not have an easy life, that, like, wealth corrupts to some extent. Like, when so many things have been working out well that kind of makes you lose a little bit of your reliance on Hashem, or your feeling that maybe you start to believe that you deserve it, or you believe that you don't deserve it. Yeah. When we were planning on going to Israel and moving October 30th, what'd you keep saying?
This is going so easy. I'm so surprised. Everyone said it's so hard.
Yeah, they're like, so many things were working out, and then we're like, thank you, Hashem. Like, we don't even deserve all this like goodness that's coming to us. But katonti mi kol hachasadim. Sometimes, like, I don't know, you get complacent. You're like, things are working out. It's going to continue to work out, and like, don't really pray or like feel that thankfulness with the same enthusiasm until you encounter that situation of like, oh shoot, things have been going really well. Now Esav's here. Now, expectations have shifted. And having that same muscle of like really davening to Hashem and really feeling like it's a tough muscle.
So since it's a short Friday,
Gonna wrap up.
we're wrapping up.
And we're gonna say that I hope people, all of us, feel tremendously blessed in our lives, and that when Yaakov wrestles with the angel, it says Ad alot hashachar, that until the morning. So until next time, we'll see you. But really, that Yaakov turned this wrestling with the angel into something that was alot hashachar, into this ray of sun. He refuses to let the angel go until he's blessed. And hopefully our struggles from this past week, from just in general our experiences, retrospectively, we can see them as blessings in some way, and be able to look reflectively and find some light in them.
And fun experiment for this week. Go up to someone in shul, shake their hand, or give them a hug, and don't let go, and say, I'm not letting go until you bless me. See how it plays out.
Never let go.
Never let go.